Jamie Foxx, as of late, he been getting a lot of backlash. He got a white woman pregnant, and a lot of people feeling the type of way about it. You heard about this?
I want to say this about Jamie Foxx and his snow bunny hopping. First of all, I love and respect Jamie Foxx. He may very well be the most talented black man of this century, definitely of his generation, one of the greatest in history. The brother can act, the brother can sing, and the brother is a tremendous comedian. Tremendous.
Jamie Foxx just became a father for the third time in his life, and every single time all three, the mother has been a white woman. Now a lot of people are going to say he can love who he loves, and that is true. Nobody is here to police a grown man's heart, but here is where this story stops being just a personal choice and starts being something that deserves a real conversation. In December 2024, Jamie Foxx stood on a Netflix stage at the Alliance Theater in Atlanta. He sat down at a piano. He looked out at that crowd, a crowd that had just watched him survive a brain bleed, a stroke, 20 days in a coma, and he sang to them. He looked directly at black women in that audience and said, "Sisters, I'm here to tell you, I've been cured. No more white girls. I'm back on the black side of town." Black women lost their minds in the best way. They shared that clip everywhere. They forgave him for 6 years with Katie Holmes. They forgave him for everything before that. That moment felt earned. That moment felt like accountability. And then 18 months later, his Australian girlfriend Elise Huckstep, who is white, announced she was expecting his third child. The joke was the whole performance, and black women were the punchline the entire time.
We know he had a health scare not too long ago, Art. He said live on stage that he was done with the snow bunnies, but he only said in public. I want to be honest. I got to be fair, Art. He did say he was done with the snow bunnies in that comedy stand-up he had, but he said in public.
Here is the detail that makes this so much worse than just a broken promise. When Jamie Foxx performed that cured bit on his Netflix special in October 2024, Elise Huckstep was not some distant ex. She was not someone he had already moved on from. She was in the building. She was in the audience that night in Atlanta. Gayle King posted a video from backstage after the show, and Elise was right there raising a glass to him, celebrating his comeback. He sang to black women about being done with white women while his white girlfriend watched from the crowd. Then in January 2025, reports came out that they had split. Then a few months later they were photographed leaving Nobu in Malibu together. Then photographed again at a restaurant in Miami. And then on May 12 TMZ reported that Elise Huckstep was pregnant. His third child. His third white baby mama. The cured song was a bit. It was always a bit. And the people who clap the hardest are the ones who deserve the truth the most.
3 snow bunnies, no black women. But when I do the psychological analysis, Art, not to dig all in my brother's business, but Jamie Foxx was abandoned at 7 months of age by his biological parents. They left him. He was raised by his grandparents. Why am I bringing that up, Art? As a doctor of clinical psychology,
but if you really want to understand this, not just be angry about it, but actually understand it, you have to go somewhere that most people are not willing to go, because it is easy to count the baby mamas and shake your head. It is easy to make a meme and move on. What is harder is asking why. Why does a man who grew up black, who built his entire career on black culture, who has been celebrated by black audiences his whole life, why has he never once chosen a black woman to build a family with? That is not a random pattern. That does not happen by accident 3 times in a row. Something is driving that. And to understand what it is, you have to go all the way back to Terrell, Texas, 1967.
As someone who has studied child psychology since I was 18 years old, I believe Jamie Foxx may suffer from some unconscious, unhealed childhood trauma, Art, resulting from the abandonment of his mom and dad. And I think that he may hold something against black women, because in his heart, Art, I don't think Jamie Foxx has come to terms with, and I don't think Jamie Foxx art has completely, if at all, forgiven his biological mother.
Jamie Foxx was born Eric Marlon Bishop on December 13, 1967. He was 7 months old when his parents walked away. Not 7 years. 7 months his mother Louise and his father Daryl divorced and neither one took him. His grandparents Mark and Estelle Talley stepped in, adopted him, and raised him in Terrell, Texas. His grandmother put him in piano lessons, took him to church choir, built the foundation of everything he became. She was the one who gave him confidence, structure, love, and discipline. When he won his Oscar for Ray in 2005, the first person he thanked was her, not his parents, her. Because she was the one who showed up. But here is the part that changed everything about how Jamie Foxx sees women and love and family. His biological parents did not disappear to another state. They did not move overseas, they stayed close. His father Daryl lived 28 miles away from where Jamie was being raised. 28 miles, and he still could not make himself drive that distance to watch his son play football, to check in, to show up even once. When Jamie confronted that as an adult, his father told him he had converted to Islam and could not be the father of a non-Muslim child. He drew a line in the sand and chose his religion over his son. And his mother Louise, she eventually had another daughter. She kept that child. She raised her. She chose her. While Jamie stayed down the street at his grandparents' house, watching his mother from a distance, describing her years later as good, looking with gold earrings and a Stingray Corvette. He told the press in an interview that he still asks himself why they did not want him. That question, why did she not want me, is still alive inside of him.
But Jamie Foxx was abandoned at 7 months of age by his biological parents. They left him. He was raised by his grandparents. Why am I bringing that up, Art? As a doctor of clinical psychology, as a certified school psychologist, as someone who has studied child psychology since I was 18 years old, I believe Jamie Foxx may suffer from some unconscious, unhealed childhood trauma, Art, resulting from the abandonment of his mom and dad. And I think that he may hold something against black women. Because in his heart, Art, I don't think Jamie Foxx has come to terms with, and I don't think Jamie Foxx, Art, has completely, if at all, forgiven his biological mother and father, but especially the mother, for abandoning him. And from what I understand, Art, his parents did not live far from his grandparents, and they still didn't participate in his life. So I think Jamie Foxx has some deep trauma, understandably so too, Art.
When the first woman who was supposed to love you unconditionally makes a choice to raise another child and leave you behind, something happens in your brain at the deepest level. Psychologists call it attachment disruption. When an infant or young child experiences abandonment from a primary caregiver, especially the mother, it rewires how that child eventually processes intimacy, trust, and partnership as an adult. The brain does not forget that moment even when the conscious mind moves on. What often happens is the grown version of that child either gravitates toward people who feel safe and non-threatening because they do not remind them of the source of pain, or they unconsciously avoid emotional intimacy with anyone who looks like, reminds them of, or represents the person who first hurt them. Jamie Foxx's biological mother was a black woman. The first abandonment came from a black woman. His father was absent too, yes, but the mother wound runs deeper in attachment psychology because of how early and how fundamental that bond is supposed to be. 3 relationships, 3 children, not one black woman chosen as a partner to build with. That is not preference. That is a wound selecting for safety.
Understandably so. Jamie Foxx probably has some very deep trauma surrounding the abandonment of his parents that has left him untrusting of black women. I'm not giving Jamie Foxx a pass for triple bunny hunting. Triple bunny hunting is mad work with all these beautiful black women out here. It's mad work for him to not have been able to get one sister art. He got 3 white baby moms. I'm not giving him a pass, but the psychologist in me, the therapist in me, Art, requires that I give my brother a little bit of grace because I understand the parental abandonment and trauma that he's dealing with. He's not excused from triple bunny hunting.
And this is where grace and accountability have to exist in the same space at the same time, because both things are completely true and neither one cancels the other out. Jamie Foxx did not choose to be abandoned at 7 months old. He did not choose to grow up watching his father refuse to drive 28 miles. He did not choose to see his mother keep a daughter that was not him while he stayed with the grandparents down the street. None of that was his fault. That is real pain. That deserves real compassion. But here is the other side of that same truth. Jamie Foxx is 58 years old. He is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He survived a brain bleed and a stroke in April 2023 that put him in a coma for 20 days. His youngest daughter Annalise snuck into his hospital room with a guitar and played until his vitals came down. His older daughter Corinne was by his side through every day of that recovery. The 2 women who showed up when he was closest to death, both his daughters, both black women, and still, when he chose a partner to have a child with for the 3rd time, it was not a black woman. He had every resource in the world to deal with what that little boy in Terrell went through. Therapy time, money, near-death perspective, and he still came out the other side making the same choice. Performing healing on a Netflix stage while the girlfriend who was already pregnant watched from the audience is not the same as actually healing in private.
That he needs to one day confront. And I want all my celebrities out there to know, Art. I want them to know that if they need a life coach, I'm here for you. Because a lot of them don't have nobody they can talk to. And I need them to know that they can talk to Dr. Umar privately, confidentially. Nobody will know. And I will take it to my grave. I just want to put that out there. If any of my celebrity brothers ever need to have a conversation. And I do talk to some celebrities, by the way, Art. I'll never reveal who they are because y'all know who they are. And we have private, confidential conversations, and I do that with them as they brother because they need that. So shout out to Jamie Foxx, but my dear brother, please let this 3rd Karen, this 3rd ice woman, let this be your last swim in the warm skim milk, Jamie Foxx. Please, brother, for the sake of the race, after you have this beautiful baby.
The moment Jamie Foxx made that cured joke in his Netflix special, he was not just entertaining, he was cashing in on black women's loyalty. He was using their forgiveness as a comedic device while living a life that had nothing to do with them. And black women are the same audience that has supported him since In Living Color. The same audience that made his stand-up special must-watch content. The same audience that shared his hospital recovery updates with genuine prayer and genuine fear. When his condition was unknown in April 2023 and Corinne posted that vague medical complication message, black women were in those comments praying for him. When he finally confirmed the brain bleed and the stroke in December 2024, black women were in those comments crying with relief. They have always shown up for Jamie Foxx, and what he gave them in return was a piano bit about being cured while the 3rd baby mama sat in the crowd.
Speaking of snow bunnies, have you heard about how this text, it got leaked online from a white woman, detailing how to trap an athlete?
Yes, I did. The snow bunny trap. Now, first of all, I don't think anybody's surprised, Art. I don't think anybody's surprised to find out that white women are actually working together to entrap rich black athletes into marriage. Nobody's surprised. The only thing people may be surprised about is how serious and how scientific the snow bunny trap is, Art. So in that text message that got leaked, the girl told her sister or cousin or girlfriend who's already with a black NFL superstar, She said, I want a football player, preferably an NFL player. And she responded, Art, and said, that's easy, but you got to play your cards right. Look at this, Art. She said it's easy. She said it's easy. She said it's easy for a white girl to get a black athlete, Art. Think about that now. She said it's easy. She didn't say it's going to take some hard. She said it's easy, but you got to play your cards right.
Now here is where the individual story connects to something much larger and much more organized, because while Jamie Foxx is making choices shaped by childhood trauma, there is a documented strategy operating on the other side of those choices. A text message got leaked and circulated online. This was not random venting. This was a conversation between a white woman and her friend who was already in a relationship with a black NFL player. The friend wanted to know how to get one for herself. The response she got back was cold, specific, and laid out like a playbook. She said it was easy to get a black athlete. Not complicated, not unlikely easy. But she said you have to play your cards right, and then she broke down exactly what that means step by step.
Look at this, Art. She said it's easy. She said it's easy. She said it's easy for a white girl to get a black athlete, Art. Think about that now. She said it's easy. She didn't say it's going to take some hard. She said it's easy, but you got to play your cards right. She said you cannot be an emotional little girl. So this is what they did, Art, the Snow Bunny trap. They studied black women, Art, stereotypical black women, right? They studied them. And they said, we're going to be the opposite of the stereotypical black woman. They want to be loud. They want to be argumentative. Allegedly, right? Because this is the stereotype. Most of our women are not, they want to be loud, they want to be argumentative, they want to control their men. So the Snow Bunny said, we're not going to do none of that. She said, don't look for the cheating. He's going to cheat. Yes. And she basically says, Art, it's okay. Let him cheat. Why is she saying it's okay, Art? Because they're not there for the marriage. They're there for the money, right?
The strategy was built on studying black women, or more specifically, studying the stereotypes of black women, and then deliberately positioning themselves as the opposite of every single one of those stereotypes. Stay calm, never argue, never try to control him, and here is the part that should make everyone stop, let him cheat. Her exact reasoning was that they are not there for the marriage, they are not there for love, they are there for financial positioning. If he cheats, that is expected and that is acceptable because the goal was never emotional connection. The goal was access to the money and what comes with it. She even said out loud, he is the prize, not you. She admitted that they bring nothing real to these men. No emotional depth, no community connection, no shared cultural foundation. The only thing on offer is access to whiteness and the social image that some of these men have been conditioned since childhood to associate with having made it.
And she said, this is how you deal with the black girls, Art. Check this out. Pick on them. Make the black girls mad and bring Shanae out. She said Shanae, Art. Shanae. Pick on the black girls, get them angry, let them turn into Shanae, let him see them as Shanae, and he will never want to be bothered with her again. Bring out the ghetto in the black woman, make sure he sees that, and he'll never want to be with her again. And you know what's crazy, Art? What's crazy is these white women are intentionally triggering black women to act a fool so they lose out on the brothers.
But the darkest part of that leaked conversation was what she said about black women directly, because the strategy was not just about positioning herself close to the athlete. Part of the plan was actively dismantling his connection to black women while it was happening. She said when black women are around, trigger them. Deliberately do something to provoke a reaction. Make them respond emotionally. Make them look like the stereotype and then let him watch that. Let him see the reaction and associate it with chaos while you stand next to him looking unbothered and easy. She said once he sees that enough times he will stop wanting a black woman. This is not a theory, this is a documented conversation. And what it tells you is that some of what presents itself as natural preference in these athletes is being manufactured on purpose through deliberate psychological manipulation. The calm energy that seems so appealing works because it was designed to work on a specific type of man. The man who grew up in chaos. The man who associates peace with relief. The man who never dealt with what happened to him when he was 7 months old and a woman who looked like the women in his community chose to walk away.
And you know what's sad, Art? Even though this was exposed, even though the snow bunny trap has been exposed, I will bet you, Art, it will not stop black men from being entrapped by the pelvic vagina. I bet you, brother. They are still going to do it because they have low self-esteem. They don't think much of themselves, and they think the best way for them to improve their life, even with all this money, is to put a white woman on their arm. But this is good. You know why, Art? Because it shows us what we already know. White women are manipulating black men into marriage to be taken care of. And when they get tired of you, Art, they just drop you off. Because what did she tell her? She said if he sleeps around, let him. That's part of the game. We not here to get emotional. We are here for the bag. Insane, Art. The snow bunny crisis is absolutely insane.
And here is the most honest and the most uncomfortable place this whole story ends up. Even now that the text is public, even now that the strategy is documented and discussed and understood, it is not going to stop, not because black men cannot see what is happening, but because the wound that makes them vulnerable to it in the first place has never been the real conversation. Jamie Foxx sang about being cured on Netflix. He was not cured, he was performing, because curing something means sitting down with a real therapist in a real private setting and actually going back to Terrell, Texas 1967, and doing the hardest work a person can do, forgiving the people who were supposed to show up and did not. It means looking at why you have made the same relationship choice 3 times and asking yourself honestly what you are actually looking for and what you are actually running from. That work it happens in private, in pain, away from the applause. Jamie Foxx is one of the most genuinely talented human beings to ever hold a microphone. He can act, sing, write, produce, do stand-up, play piano. There is almost nothing the man cannot do. He survived a brain bleed. He came back from 20 days in a coma. His daughters played guitar by his bedside and kept him alive. And he is still at 58 years old carrying a 7-month-old baby's question inside him. Still asking without knowing he is asking. Why did she not want me? The leaked text is real, the strategy is real, but so is the wound that makes it work every single time. And until that wound is treated, not performed, actually treated, this story does not change for Jamie Foxx. And it does not change for the next one after him either.